If anyone wishes to sit down, he grew up and then he became strong. And then he wanted to revenge the killing of his father, okay, and kill his uncle. There were lots of battles. In one of these battles, Horus, the god of protection, lost of one of his eyes. That's why the eye of Horus is a symbol of protection. Okay? And by the help of other gods and goddesses, they returned the eye of Horus back. Okay? And during another battle, Set changes himself to hippopotamus, and tried to make himself very small, because at that time Horus had a spear and he wanted to kill his uncle when he changed himself to hippo. By the help of Isis, his mother, okay, they already had control over the hippo or his uncle, okay, and by the end he killed him by this spear. And then did big celebration, and they wrote this story on the walls of this temple, and I will show you the story, and I'll show you some of the reliefs of that story. This is one of the first stories that I'll explain you about here. The other story, that the god Ra is the sun, remember? Ra already had lots of enemies. Ra had lots of enemies. And the enemies of Ra were very smart. They were hiding in underground caves. They are hiding in underground caves. So Ra will not reach these caves and kill them. Okay, so he was very sad, and he talked to Horus, the god of protection, about that. Then Horus suggested that both of them will merge. The bird, Horus, the falcon, with the sun, okay? So, the sun will take the wings of Horus and fly with his wings, which is the wings of falcon, and then go to these underground caves and kill all of his enemies. That's why they merged. That's why it's called Ra, Hur, Akhti. Ra is Ra, the sun. Hur is from Horus. Akhti means in the horizon. That shape is called Ra, Hur, Akhti. They merged, okay? And then Ra, with the wings of Horus, went to these caves and killed all of his enemies, and they did big celebration. That's why, starting from that time on, they put on each gate, on each door of any temple, that sign, which is the sun disk with the wings. And if you look up there, okay, you see this sun disk with two cobras? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, and you can see the blue things are the wings of Horus. So this is Ra, Hur, Akhti. You find it on any...
What is the meaning of that snake?
It's protection, like protection. And why they put it there? This is because they would like to protect the temple from any bad spirit or any evil. That's why they put it on the entrance of any like temple, pylon, and these sorts of things. Okay, Acha? Good. So the two stories are today. So you should know pylon, which is there. The Ptolemaic, the 12th, killing lots of enemies in front of Horus, the god of protection, having the falcon. Okay, and behind him Hathor. Other scene on the other side there. It should be 4 cavities, 2 here, 2 there, and I told you that was for the flags. Long time ago they were huge flag stuff, okay, and it was starting from the bottom up to the top. And maybe you ask me why the 2 windows? They were not windows. They were hooks to hold the flag stuff, so it will not fall. Acha, it is a beautiful temple and it is nearly complete, and lots of offering scenes inside that we will explore. This one is done when the Greek were ruling Egypt. When the Greek kings or the emperors were living in Alexandria. We are talking about 237 BC. 237 BC. You go to see the temple, but please be careful when you walk not to fall. Okay?
So this was constructed by Greeks?
It doesn't mean, no. The Greek were the kings of Egypt, but Egyptian engineers were the ones that already did it. Like for example, if there is Hindu temple, okay, when the British were there, occupying India, so it is done by like the Indians, but during that time
they were supportive or they were kind of neutral?
The Greek were very smart. The Greek wanted to merge the religion with the Egyptian religion, because before the Greek arrived, Egypt was occupied by the Persians. Persians didn't respect the ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses. That's why Egyptians hated them and they wanted to get rid of them. That's why when Alexander the Great came, occupied Egypt, defeat the Persians, he knew the story and he pretended he did the same way that the ancient Egyptian kings were doing. He said that I'm the son of the god Amun, okay, and they crown him as if he's king of north and south. The same way, and he respected the ancient Egyptian religion. That's why his followers did the same story, which was easier for them not to make conflict between the Greek and the Egyptians because they were living together. Acha?
What is the name? Top 2 rows?
Okay, just to make it clear, emperor that did this pylon will be standing in front of different gods and goddesses. Okay, so for example, up there, he's standing in front of Ra-Horakhti, Tot, other local gods, Horus, the god of protection, Hathor, different second register, standing in front of Osiris, Isis, Nephthys, Horus, different gods, and just to make it clear, you know, like if I'm going to tell you that during this time, sometimes they write information, sometimes they will represent by images or pictorial, let's say, language. So like Tom and Jerry, like the cartoon. Okay, this and move to this, and by this, telling you a
So
story.
what are they depicting? I mean, God is there and then all.
Okay, depicting like the
On the
king
one.
is like, okay, each god is seated like this, right? There are 2 columns of hieroglyphic inscriptions. These 2 columns are inscriptions are telling me, as like specialist, who is this? For example, maybe the goddess Hathor. They will write that this is the goddess or the lady of the turquoise of Sinai of Egypt. So, for example, so each one had slogan in marketing. Slogan is like some one line or to indicate who is. That's the same concept. The slogan of each god. And by this way, I know who is seated there. Acha?
The only thing, maybe in addition to him, was that because they're all facing this god, so is he the one standing here? So
Yeah.
is he the superior one and they're all facing him?
No, it's not the one that's standing. Is not. He's a king.
He's a king. Okay, all right.
Usually king, like if you are in India, okay, you're in a temple. You stand, present offering. So, and like for example, if you did a beautiful temple in India for the god Krishna, correct? Lakshmi. Okay, so maybe she did the beautiful temple and she did lots of money. Maybe she will put her photo standing in front of Lakshmi and present, for example, apples, present gold, present silver. So that's the same concept.
And
what they were doing in ancient Egyptian times is nearly what we're doing now, but I will tell you later on how to merge them.
And this is the only place where we see the snakes. Till now, wherever temple we have
I
gone
told you in each entrance, second entrance the same, third entrance the same, fourth entrance, any gate, you find at the top. Ra-Horakhti you mean, okay? This way. And you asked me. Around you, they are having different tags or different capitals. The upper part is different from one to another.
Why 32?
Sorry?
Why 32?
It has no relation exactly why it's 32, but maybe because of the distance and because of the distribution, engineering things. But the point that the upper part is different forms to make variations to look, I mean, not the same or same style. Okay? as well as. After this, we go to the hypostyle hall. I told you about above any entrance, if you remember, Rahura, there.
Yes.
Okay, there. There and there. You see it? Okay. We go to see the hypostyle hall, which is beautiful. Some of the colors, these are the original colors there on some of the columns there. And that's here Horus, the god of protection, to falcon. Later on, come in front of this beautiful one, okay, which is this falcon, and take Horus. Acha. We're living on the top. Okay, please come here. Join us. Sorry. Chalo there. That's fine. Okay, so you can see some beautiful colors still existing there on the roof. And these are the hypostyle hall. Lots of beautiful colors sitting also on the top of the columns there. Some of them taking the form of palm trees, different forms, lotus, as well as different flowers which are represented. In this place, in this hypostyle hall, there are two rooms. One room is there. Okay, do you see it? There's a door. This is vestry. What's vestry? A place to keep in it like storeroom, keeping the incense, keeping the food that you use. Okay? The second room is just behind me here, which is a library. They were putting in it some scrolls, some papyri, which is indicating some prayers that they were doing, and some knowledge. Okay. Here there are two hypostyle halls. This is the first, second there, and if you look to the roof, you find it black. Why it is black? Usually because during the Greek period of time of Egypt, when the Greek were ruling, they were making the colors and they were putting in the colors wax, and wax will help the bacteria to grow. And by the time bacteria will grow, and this bacteria will make this black color. That's why nowadays in some temples they kill this bacteria by some let's say chemicals, and all of the beautiful colors will appear again. Okay, you follow me this way. Tent, okay, or the house of the king. And the king is going out of his house or his tent. These are some sorts of decorations. Nowadays they are making in the tents from wood some sorts of decorations. He's going out of his tent, and there is a priest burning incense before him. I told you this is a story, pictorial story. Okay, so we can see the emperor there standing, and this is the goddess Hathor, the goddess of beauty and motherhood. She is holding the hand of the king, and she is introducing him to her husband Horus, the god of protection, the one that did this temple for. Here we can see the emperor standing with the goddess of geometry, the goddess Sashit. They are discussing the temple, how many meters and the dimension of the temple, how it will be. And they are doing this in front of Horus, the god of protection. Here we can see the emperor purifying the land of the temple by putting salt on the floor in front of Horus, the god of protection. Here the emperor carrying bricks, and these bricks will be used to construct the temple for Horus, the god of protection, and he is standing. These are like construction scenes, and what I'm telling you is repeated nearly in each temple. So instead of giving you information in one temple, give you each day a new information as well as a new story. Okay, take photos if you wish and follow me this way. Okay, can I go first?
While we are here, we can see all the you can see all them.
It's not there. There's a small boat there. What's this boat? We were putting a statue for the god Horus, carried by the priest, and they were doing big celebration using this. This is a maquette. This boat is a maquette. The original one is not this is not the original one. I'm just letting you know about this. Okay? Later on, come take photos as much as you like. But I would like to show you more things, so you follow me that way. Can I go? I told you about local people. Same story. If you don't trust this, it will take you down. Any of these will take you down. Okay. So in each temple also there is something called Nilometer. What? What's Nilometer? It's like a column that they did containing numbers. Water of the Nile was coming from here, this door, and they were measuring the height of the Nile. And by this way, they were putting the amount of the taxes depending on the height of the water during the flooding season. Because the economy was depending on agriculture. So if the water of the Nile, the flooding level is good, they will collect more taxes. If it is less, they will take less taxes. If it is less than normal, they should take care of the usage of the water. Acha? So that was Nilometer, and it's existed in each temple. Maybe you ask me, where's the Nile now? It's too far away. But during that time, Nile was coming to this place. Okay?
Which was the flooding season in the year?
Okay, so during that time, I mean, like nowadays, because we are depending mainly on the water of the Nile, and the Nile is moving in lots of countries. We're talking about summer. We're talking about July, August. Okay, but here it doesn't rain. But it comes from Africa, rains in Africa, that's why it comes to us through here. Okay? and you can see a hippo, which is representing his uncle. You remember the story that I explained to you? Okay, and the goddess Isis, she has chains, and it seems that the god Set fell into that trap, okay, and he was like trapped, and she helped her son, Horus, the god of protection, by his spear to kill the hippo. It is just telling you the story from the very beginning up to here, which is repeated scenes, and it is in pictogram telling you the story of Horus revenged killing his uncle and being the king of Egypt, and he is the heir of the throne of Egypt because his father already is killed by his uncle. And here we can see the emperor. He'd like to say, I'm representing Horus on earth. That's why he has a spear and killing the hippo, and these are the heirs of the throne. So we can see after this the god Horus, we taught the god of knowledge, they are coming back, and he's celebrating the victory of the Horus. So we can see the goddess Hathor, she is celebrating with some girls dancing and singing her victorious husband. Okay, take photos and follow me.